Prejudices and other forms of discrimination are things that people build within their minds.
It's not funny, it's not fun, it's not pleasant. This is a filthy, nasty word called discrimination. We're treating people a certain way because they are different from the rest of us. Is that fair?
No.
Nothing fair about it.
And my 7-year-old asked me, "Mom, what's racism?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how do I explain it?
Yeah. No one should have to deal with something that's preventing them from becoming their best self because of the color of their skin.
One thing I think that we probably need to do better as people is start expanding our relationship outside of our comfort zone. It's easier to say that there's, racism, there's inequality, but when you look at even your own quad, how many other race do you have as friends? And I'm speaking to myself as well. And I think that when we begin to do that, we begin to understand other people.
Yeah.
We have different backgrounds, we have different culture, but we tend to stay in our own bubble, and we don't understand what other people are going through.
Yeah.
I think the number one challenge is that nobody wants to talk about it. I think part of the problem is that people assume that when they're asked to talk about it, they're almost being judged for it.
I mean, white privilege is I've never had to worry that I was being disadvantaged because of the color of my skin. It means that, I am generally surrounded by people that are like me.
Sure.
And look like me and act like me. And there is some form of comfort in numbers.
Sure.
Those underlying, perhaps, thoughts about racism, if you ask somebody, they'll probably say, I'm not racist, but then when you dig deeper, there may be things that values and thoughts that they've been grown up with that may be thought of as being racist.
Like, you gotta be open, right? You gotta be open to discourse, to understand how are other people living.
I think words and conversations have caused a lot of the issues we're seeing today. And I think words and conversations are the things that can bring us back to where we need to be.
There's not one job in the world that's better suited for any race or demographic, period. So it kind of begs the question, like, why aren't there more black people in automotive?
Unless a company recognizes that, hey, if we don't put in place processes to discontinue the perpetuation of our current culture or our current demographic, you're inevitably going to get more of the same. More of the same lack of inclusion, more of the same lack of representation.
When we talk about, what percentage of the population is represented by blacks in Canada, we should have equivalent representation in our work rank.
The point is that it can't just be talk anymore, right? You need to take action. So if I can encourage or say anything about, my message is don't be afraid to do something, like take some kind of action.
So BEN is an employee resource group for team members who are passionate about anti-black racism and systemic racism and want to combat it and do something about it. It's an employee resource group that's open to people who are curious, people of all ethnic groups, people of all genders.
I don't think there's any measure to this that we don't think we can successfully take on and at least produce some kind of advancement for the black community.
I felt that I wanted to be the type of leader that was not shy about bringing them up and challenging them in a professional way and driving positive change.
And I think that we have the will, we have the drive, we have the vision. So I don't think that there's anything holding us back.
What an opportunity to actually create something, even if we don't see the difference now, to see a difference for our kids.
Don't be afraid to stand up for what's right. Don't be afraid to try to drive positive change. And the people who are the right people to have around you, to surround yourself with, are going to be right there supporting you.